2. Hello, hello. Here we're working here. Check, check. Mic is good. It does say part 2. Like we're working here. All right, well, how are we doing? Ready to continue the Ultra Magnus build. I hope to get a lot more done tonight, but probably not, because we're going to do the X-axis and extruder, and that takes forever to put together. So, David, how you doing? So the one thing I did not do is I need to pull up the bare documentation because I don't remember where all the size bolts needed for it. Let's do GitHub bare Gregson patient. No, that's not the one I wanted. The manual assembly guide. There we go. Bare extruder assembly guide. Oh, we don't need assembly. We need to do X-axis. So again, I'm just using the. Hey George. Bear. Hey Andrew. I'm gonna do that. I want to do this. So here I'm using the guide here. Again, this is on Greg's. I go to the GitHub and he has the assembly guide there. Goes to all the different parts, which I have lots of. So I'm gonna kind of just go through this. I don't think. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with just having the camera up. Oh, you hadn't seen it built. Well, you're gonna see it here tonight, David. Pull this down. Why am I not? Zoomed out. There we go, a little bit. All right, I'll try to show you guys as best I can here. Myself situated. Oh, here's the bed connector. I did take care of the bed, so I got the bed is now soldered, and it took me forever to get this off, and I ended up ripping off the solder pad for the thermistor, the built-in thermistor. So I went ahead and just added my own to the bed because I'm an idiot. So, but that's okay. But the bed is mounted. I do have it on the y-axis. Bearings are in. Bearings are not quite smooth yet. I need to tweak, I think, a little bit of the twisting here, but that is for another day. I'm still trying to figure that one out. All those issues. So let's get together the parts. So I have the two ends. So there's one end, and here is the other end. You guys can see that all right? I'm trying to tilt my camera so that it doesn't fall over. Let's hope it doesn't. Okay, what else do we need here? We need out the back plate, which I already put the bearings in. Just down a little bit. There we go, that's a little better. So we have the back plate. Then we've got the covers for the bearings. Have the front plate cover. That's going to hold our hot end in. We have the main body. This has a great big sensor holder here. Aaron made this one. So this is to hold the Easy ABL. He modified that for me. I have a part pulling fan in blue, so that'll look nice. We have some other various parts. Oh, we have the idler, so I made that white. That's going to kind of fit in there and look pretty slick, I think. Old dual color. We've got parts for the cable strain relief. There's a cable strain. No, here's the top cap. So I'm going to have reverse Bowden set up. I already have the fitting in there. Where is that all? Missing one piece here. Yeah, missing one piece. Where's that one piece at? Ah, here it is. This is the other part for the back to hold the cable chain or the cable on there. That should be all the parts. I really hope it is, because if it isn't, I'm gonna feel like an idiot. But yeah, so we do need the extruder. Where'd it go? Because we need the motor off the old extruder here. So I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble this and get going. As usual, if anybody has any questions on the build, please feel free to ask them. I will answer them the best I can. Looks like Aaron is here, so he can also help with some of the questions, especially if it comes to design, because Aaron, again, is responsible for like 98%, 99% of this design and build here. So he's definitely the one to answer some of the questions. If not all the questions, I guess. Come on, you sucker. Okay. All of this goes down in the bin. And we're left with the motor. So I don't want this caution hot on here. I'm going to take that off. And we need to get the old rub off here. So that is a tiny sucker. Let's get this off here. Get a, what's this, a 1.5? Yeah, let me get a smaller straight Allen head here. Too big. So the issue with grub screws don't work very well with ball head Allen wrenches. Just gotta use a straight one. And this feels stripped. That one works. This one feels stripped. All right, so we have one that's stripped. We're gonna go ahead and get out the good old iFixit kit. And we're gonna use a star bit in order to get that out. So, where's my star bit? Right, this one here. Star bit kind of fit it in there, and then we can take that off like that. So again, I'm using a teeny tiny little star bit from the iFixit kit. This actually is a security Torx in order to be able to get that out. That does happen quite frequently, especially with very, very cheap grub screws. They get kind of rolled or nulled over, whatever you want to call it, stripped. Yeah. Stripped it in 3 screw lining. Yeah, those are not fun. Again, even though it's nice to have, the ball heads, you need to have some straight ones. So I have this Tecton kit here. So to have some straight ones really helps out if the ball heads strip it out. And if you still can't get it, then again, use a star bit to jam it in there and you'll be able to loosen that up. So, all right, so we do have our motor ready now. Now we're gonna go ahead and start with assembly guide, and we need to get our M3 nuts in here. Yeah, this is trash. There it is, binned. So we're gonna need M3 bolts. We're gonna need some M3 square nuts. I have a variety. I have the Prusa sized ones and I have some smaller ones. We'll end up using the Prusa sized ones here. But we need to get out a few M3 nuts. In here. Silver ones for this. I'm using all silver hardware for this build. I do have all black hardware. So I will have another build coming up that will be using all black hardware. It'll look very nice. And then we're using a 16 millimeter bolt. 18 millimeter, sorry, 18. So 18 now. And we're going to put that through, and that is what's going to help us pull the nut into place. Make sure it's lined up. As you twist, pulls that in. Once that gets seated all the way in, then you can loosen out the bolt, and then it is good to go. Again, all these pieces are printed in Ziltech PETG. This is their standard blue PETG, which looks phenomenal. Very blue about it. This inside one is a little bit trickier to get to. You get it. It just goes way in there. Same thing, tighten it down. Get that squared away. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and put in our bearings. So, I have some new bearings I want to use actually in this build. I'm not going to use the ones that came with the printer. I have some better ones somewhere. Thought I did. Where are we at? Better newer ones here. Hey, Brandon. Just want to make sure that these all slide real nice and easily. No binding going on at all. It's the only one that feels a little bit off. This one feels off, so we're not going to use that one. I thought this was an IKO, but I guess it's not. I have a mixture of IKO and standard LM8 you use. One more path. I'm actually getting low. All these custom builds, I'm actually getting low on parts now, which is quite funny. There we go. Nice and smooth. That looks great. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and put the bearings into here. No, Brandon, I am using these on the Z, but X and Y are going to be Aegis. Z doesn't need to be the Aegis bearings, so I'm going to go ahead and keep the Z at this because there's really no reason not to, you know? So if we hold this down like so, or I guess they're looking at it from this way, you need to have one set of bearings this way. And what you're doing is you're lining up. It's kind of hard to tell because of my lighting, but see, you can see the rows. You want one row here, and then you want one row to be 45 degrees of that row. So you kind of just have to look down it, eyeball, and push it in. Come on. Ooh, it's tight. There we go. We're still right? Yeah, we're right. There we go. So that just means that the bearings are offset, so you don't have all your in one row. It kind of spreads the bearing load out across it. But yeah, again, I'm saving a little bit of money because these are more expensive than these cheapos, but these are working better for that purpose. All right, so once we have both of those in, again, they want you to put the rod through. Make sure it slides. It's a little audible, because again, your Z doesn't move this fast, but it's okay. And now we can go ahead and set in two M3 by 10s. We're using socket cap heads for this. And we can just snug them up a little bit. There's one. And two. seem to be reaching. That's interesting. Very interesting. Well, I'm going to go and put a 12 millimeter in there then. So we can, that one might just be too short. Still move smoothly once that's hooked on there. Augie, what's up? No, Aaron. All the rods are exactly the same place as they were originally assembled. Megatron, we swapped the rails around. The rods around, I should say. Sorry. All right, now that's done. We're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing to the motor side. So we're going to get our long bolt, get out a couple and 3 bolts, and get these ones secured in. Planning new PC build. Well, good luck with that, Augie, because I've been trying to get myself on a Ryzen 5000 series and a 3070, 3080 for a while now. And I am having a heck of a time trying to get a hold of any of that hardware. Motherboard, new NVMe. Check 1 2, check 1 2. You hear me? Good old RTX audio crashed. Sorry about that. So yeah, RTX audio just crashed. Sorry about that. So they want you to put the rods in now. I don't want to do that yet. I prefer to do the nuts for the eccentric nuts. So for the bolts that hold the eccentric nuts on. I'm gonna go ahead and get out 4 nuts for that. I'm gonna go ahead and get those pushed in now. It's just easier to do when you have these smaller things. It's easier to manipulate this in your hands than the entire carriage once it's together. Same thing, I'm just pulling the nut into its spot right there. So that's pulled in now, and then we can pull this back out. The inside one doesn't need that, it just has to get pushed into place, which in itself is a gigantic pain in the double. Looks like that's in there. Okay, so that one's done. I'll go ahead and do this side now. So I did order a new cordless screwdriver, but when my mom, who's visiting us, came over, they would not let her take it on the airplane. Even though it had a battery in it, she had to hand carry it, couldn't put it in her checked bag. So I am without my brand new screwdriver, which sucks. I was really looking forward to having that. Not quite a bear build, Ryan. It's similar, but I think it's a little bit nicer. And it's way bigger. But I do appreciate the goofball comment. I'm okay with that one. Goober, I also accept. Call my kids that. Wait till the mini build, Ryan. You're going to love that one. All right, that's one in. Shimmied around and pushed in. Boom. 2 for 2. All right. Up next. All right, so they want us to put the rods in, which I don't know if I need to drill these out or not because PTG did shrink a little bit. Nope, there it is. And you want to put those all the way in. These have these little windows in them, so you'll see the rod hit all the way up against the side there. That's what you want. Same thing here. That one went in nicely. All right, and then we have top is this way. For you, it's this way. That means we do 3 bearings on top, 1 bearing on bottom, just like that. And then we're going to put the other side in here with the motor mount to the top. Might do this on the floor. Hang on a second. Okay. And again, you can see the windows. You can see that all the way in. I will. And there we have our bearings. Move very nicely, don't they? That's like that. All right, so now we're going to need the X-axis motor, which is right here. Thankfully, still labeled X-axis motor from the build. I think we can go and peel that off now. Oh, it's a little bit gummy. Let me get some, see if I can wipe some of that off real quick. Cleaner here real quick, which I think is still here. Kids, take it. 1 second, guys. Let me find where it's at. Hey, Kim. Hang on. Where's the Gugon? Is it still down here? I don't know where it is. Get off the table, cat. Let me look in here. She doesn't know where it's at. Well, I'll clean it off later. It's kind of want to do it now real quick, but I don't know where it's at. So we'll clean the motor off later. And this is just going to get mounted here with the cable facing down. Yep. And we're using M3x18s, which I already have one out. Now, these are not the original bare parts that I'm using right now. These are modified for the spacing on the Anet A8 Plus. So you can't just use the standard bare parts. They are different. Sake Cafe, where are you at? There we go. Oh, that's 12 mil. What am I doing? Email, that's what I need. Size check. Hey, Aaron, these don't line up. Did we swap the X and Y? But that doesn't matter because the spacing doesn't match. I put that there and I put that there. Maybe it does match. Maybe I'm, oh crikey. Maybe I'm just smoking something. Maybe that matches. Yeah, that doesn't match. What's different? Swap Z and X. Okay. No. Well, let me see if I can get this apart now. Son of a gun. I didn't know we changed Z and that one out. Jeez. There's two. That's one, I should say. This one's tight. Oh, this one's real tight. There we go. How different are they? Oh, they're plenty different. Oh wow. Okay. So then there's these top rods actually stick up and out the top by a fair bit, right? Should end up being like this. right here. Should be sticking out like that on Z now. Could be. Okay. Well, let me swap this other one around. Ryan, I like to do it live. Planning is for planners. I prefer not to plan so much. At least I have all the parts printed. I mean, at least I think I do. I'm probably missing something, but hey, we'll figure it out eventually. All right, so we'll do one. Goes on the bottom, which is this one. And then top rail. We get 2 on that one. 1 and 2. Put this on here. Like so. They're all lined up. So now we're back to where we were. Let me zoom out a little bit more. Up a little bit more. There we go. So now we have that back together. That still looks too wide. Fair enough. It does fit. All right. All right. It does work. All right. Just optical illusion now. Now my brain is telling me bad things. Give me 1 second real quick, guys. Can you close their door? What are you crying about? What are you crying about? It's bedtime, Emma. I'm not late. See, Emma. You okay? Thank you. Wait, what happened now? It's not if you could have live stream if I printed everything. That could be true there. Got that on there. I already put together the bearing on here. I just need to put in some nylock bolts. Oh yeah, I do have them, Brandon. No worries. I have them right here. So I got them. But although I do think I kept the spacers from Megatron that I printed, because Aaron found spacers online for me. because yeah, I kind of forgot to have them for that last time. The M3 by 18s going in, so this just slides into the end here. What happened to the way of all metal 3D printers? Well, that's for people who have like CNCs and stuff. Ain't for me. Bit of pop of color down in there, which I think looks fantastic. Put in the palm nuts. So these are 4-start ones, and they are the size for Prusa, which kind of sucks because it makes them more expensive because you have the Prusa name on them, but it is what it is. You put the nuts in. All you need to do is screw in these 2 bolts, like a 1. These are way too short. What am I doing? I need to use 18 mil ones. No, I'm trying to screw in these teeny tiny bolts. Tommy, what's up? How you doing? Need 1, 2, 3, and 4 18 mil ones to go in. That's what's required. Bigger handle. I mean, if you got a way to mill this stuff out all metal, power to you. But yeah, I don't. PLA what for what, Brandon? Sorry, I'm missing what you were saying. Downtime stopping. Well, thank you, Tommy, for stopping in. I appreciate it. Hey, Darren, how you doing? What would Dan think of this? Measly 9 likes. He'll probably be here soon. I don't know if anybody else is streaming. Oh yeah, Brand. Yeah, the i3 Mark III S clone that I built is all PLA. This is all PETG though. So we've got those are now installed on each side, looking pretty good there. Side. And now for the moment of truth, we're going to go ahead and mount this onto printer here. See if I can get this turned so you guys can see it. Put the iFixit kit away for now. If you guys don't have this, you have to get an iFixit kit. Like, not sponsored, obviously, because no one sponsors me like that. But yeah, you need to get an iFixit kit. Bet, and they're like on sale now too, probably like 40 bucks. All right, so what we need to do now is we need to get the spring couplers are on these, so we're going to get the Z screws installed. I need to take these tops off, the Z tops. Hey Aaron, can you do me a favor? Can you measure in the build how long is the standard Y and how tall is Z? Because I'm wondering if I switch the 2 of these. see, I wonder here. Because the Ys are a little shorter than I'd like them. I don't know how much. Oh, they're way shorter. Never mind. Oh yeah, that's a huge difference. Never mind. I thought it was going to be like a little bit difference, but I wish the Ys were a little bit longer. So, all right, we need to get the flat side out to us here. And we'll pull these grub screws out. One installed. Two. This Z-top off. Side. All right, now we're going to go ahead and get this on here. So, line the bearings up. These bearings up. Oh, you need to go in front, not the back. There we go. Twist these guys. Ooh. There we go. That's on there. Put these Z-tops on now just to kind of help contain the smooth rods. I'm not going to secure them yet, just in case I need to pull something off again. That's fantastic. Lower that one down just a smidge more to make that line. This one's perfectly aligned up top. This one's a little bit high. That's okay. All right, so now we can assemble. We're going to do all the assembly right here. Zoom in a little bit. The camera will refocus once I get something here. But for right now, that'll be good enough. So now we're going to start the extruder. We need lots of parts here. Got all those parts, got all those parts. All right, we need to do the, so I have my extruder motor out already, so that's fantastic. We need to get out our extruder gears. So I have my extruder gears here. These ones installed. So these are, what brand are these? We know what brand these ones are. But they're cheap and they do work. I do like these ones more than some others that I've bought in the past. So we need the one with the grub screw on it. You see that? Yep. And that's going to go on here to a certain degree. Smaller than that one. Yep, need that. Where's that little 1.5 mil? 1 inch. The thing I have found out though is that the grub screws on these cheap ones are very cheap. So you need to use the utmost care when installing them because, sorry, you didn't see that. They will strip out if you're not careful. I did order some of replacements. I don't think they were from Bondtech. They might have been though. But I ordered a bunch of replacement grub screws just so I would have them just in case. Ryan, yes, I am using the stock bear extruder for this build. Now that we have that, this just goes in nicely. And you can see we're off by a little bit in there. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust it now. I don't want to have to do a lot of adjustment later. In, and now we are directly in line with the opening. So perfect. And now we need to put in the back here, the M3 by 25 mil. Do I have those in here? I do. That's what's going to hold the extruder to the body. Now, I don't have that right. So I'm actually going to be running my cable off to the side, and we'll bring it down this way here, just because this will end up getting away in the front here. So I'm just going to run that to the side. I am doing the same. I have it the same way on the Mark III's clone, and I had it the same way on Megatron before I got LDO motors for that one. There's our motor successfully installed. Easy day. Next up, we need to put some, I'm going to pull you guys back down to the table for now, because I got more to do down here before we start putting it on there. So here on the back plate, we need to get some M3 nuts into here. There we go. So these 3 holes in the back need to have there. And we're just going to use a bolt to pull it through. You do feel it get tight when you are doing it, so don't go full ham on it. You'll know whenever it gets all the way into place, because you can see it get pulled in deeper and deeper and deeper in there, and they get tight. See how far down that is. Then you back up, take it out, and it's securely in there. It takes 6 hours, Ryan. Don't be so dramatic. It took a hot minute though. But also, didn't I forget to print something for what? For it was either for the bear or Megatron. I think it was the bear. I did forget to print something. So now we have all 3 of those nuts inserted and complete. The other thing we want to do is we need to put 2 nylocks into the middle here. So 1, 2 nylocks. These just less cooperative. Same thing, we're gonna pull them in. Nylocks are a little harder to tell, but you can definitely feel when they get tighter. So there is one. Number two. On the crooked. Oh, just a little bit. There we go. Also, you definitely don't want to cross thread because you will wreck your 3D printed part if you cross thread this and don't stop yourself. You're like, oh, I can power through it. No. Even though these are made pretty beefy, both the Mark III parts and Greg's parts are beefy. But man, you got to be careful. Two, that locks in there. Almost done with this part. Like do it. I guess we'll do it later. But we need to have this part here. We need a little square nut to slide down in there. So pull out crucius square nuts. These are what should fit in here. Thinking the ones I bought might be a little bit too big. Yeah, a little bit too big. I have others. Come on. There we go. And then we've got our square nut pushed down in there properly. Ryan, that already exists. I have one very similar to it on my i3 Mega. So now we're going to go ahead and take this back plate, slap it onto here using two different bolts. So we're using a, I need to get that 40 out. We'll do the M3x10 first. Goes right here down in the middle. Goes snug. And then let me get out my other M3 catalog. I need an M3x40 mil with a washer, which I didn't get the washers out, did I? No. I thought I had them out. I put them back. Put a washer on it. This goes in the top corner of the motor, and you want to secure that in. So yeah, that bolts in, that bolts in. Now we have two of the parts for this extruder assembly put together there. Next step is magnets. All right, let's make sure I have those parts printed. Oh, I did. Sweet. So here is the door. So this is going to have a magnet in it, and that magnet is part of the right here. So we have the optical sensor. Sensor itself. Cable and the hardware for it. So we need a longer magnet. We're going to need both because we need to worry about their orientation. These should want to repel each other. So I'm going to put this one, yeah. Well, they should want to attract each other. That's what it is. It's going to go there. This one is going to go this way. This sits down like here. this way. All the way down and in. And again, it has a little window on the bottom, so you can see if you're pushed in all the way. And then this guy, we go in here. We need the steel ball. Goes right in there. That freely move? Not quite. Which is common to happen, so I just need to get a little bit off the top from the overhang. I want to make sure that can go in and out so it rolls out nice and easily, and it just rolls right back in there without fail. We want it to be attracted. All right, we're going to push this one down now. We verified our magnets are in the right orientation. And then whenever something goes in, that pushes that out and it comes back. So this is the filament sensor engaged, filament sensor not engaged. That's exactly how it works, perfectly. So those are all installed. We verified it works. Now we can go ahead and put on the filament sensor. I have a very small little filament sensor. This just sits right there. There's a teeny tiny hole for this small M. I thought this is an M2.5. It might be an M2. It's an M2. Yeah, an M2. So it's super tiny. And it's too big. There we go. Work out well. So we have to get out the good old Allen wrench to get this in, because this does get tight. You need to have a square head in there. You can't have a ball head. We just want it snug so that doesn't move. But if we activate it, it still moves, engages, disengages, just like it should. Perfect. Love it. Looking good now. Then we're going to go ahead, again, we're doing reverse Bowden setup. So I'm going to go ahead and install this top cap with a M3x10. Reverse Bowden tube is probably the best thing you can do. I was going to reprint this top cap in a different color. I still might do that since the extruder is all blue and white. This is a nice piece for like an accent color, so I might end up reprinting this differently. I did think about pulling the logo into here where the bear is. It's hard to tell because it's white, but I thought about putting the logo for Ultra Magnus there and then doing a dual color print with this. I haven't decided that yet, but for now, this will do. And we are getting there on here. Didn't do the filament door, which I did not grab out. That is a different color. That should be blue. Right? I think it's blue, wasn't it? Yeah, here it is. All right, here's the filament door. Nice and blue. So we're going to get our rod, put our two bearings over it, get our extruder gear, put all that in there together. Because then this goes on this way. Teeth need to be in the back. They need to be this way here. So I kind of just use the rod to make sure everything stays in there. Pull the rod out, leave those bearings inside. Just kind of falls into place there. And then on one side, the hole's bigger. Just rod fits in there and should go all the way till it is flush. And this should spin like there's no stopping at all. Perfect. And then that looks fantastic on the side there. Look at that. Love it. Oh, I forgot the square nut needs to go into here. Forgot about that. Perfect. Nice. Next up, we need another M3 by 40. We need a couple washers. We need 2 washers for this one. We need 1 for going in the back here. And we need another one once it goes through the back, right there. We need to pull that back just a skosh so that we can drop in the door. And then push that all the way through. Then we're going to tighten this down. It's just those 2 washers, right? Yeah, it's just the 2. There's no third. Now we can tighten the door down. You want this to be tight, but loose enough so this door can move pretty freely. You have 3 points already holding the motor on. This 4th point is not really that terribly necessary, but it does have friction there, but it is easy enough to open and close. And I put the gear in backwards because I am awesome. So let's pop that out real quick, because even though I just said I was doing more explaining than paying attention, I guess. Ouch. So you can just easily push through the one side. That comes out. Flip your bearing around. Your idler gear, sorry, not your bearing. I lost one of the bearings, didn't I? No. Right, if you guys see it on the camera, yell at me, because I just lost one of the bearings. There's the one. The other one dropped somewhere? I have another one. I can get more out, but I'd really like to find this one. Man, I was being so careful too. A Linus when it comes to building printers. I drop everything. Anybody see it yet? It had to have fallen down here somewhere. Oh, in my pocket, did it? Had that happen before. All right, well, let me get out another one, I guess. And I'll find that bearing eventually. So, we got another set here. So, put these in now. I'll drop them out again, Shane. Place this in the proper way this time and reinsert the pin. There we go. Now we're the right way. We're spinning. There we go. Hey, Llama. It rolled back the video. Only one bearing. No, they definitely both fell out. I just think one kind of hit me and fell. But again, it's here somewhere. Because I know I put 2 bearings in it. Now there's only one. Or did it go in my slip? Yeah, that happened way too many times. Nope. It's somewhere. No worries. Okay. Here's Dan. done there. Okay, yes. So the bare PTFE, I believe, I have one here that is the right length. I believe. Here's my new hot end for this. And this is supposed to be 50 millimeters in length. See what it is. 50. Oh, wait. So this does require a little bit of assembly here for this sucker. Flip in the top. Get it in there, all right? Oh, Delali. Oh, please don't break. There we go. That's in there. Now we need to get the rope here. I have more than one rope, I thought. The one lingering around in here somewhere. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, there's the bearing. Ah, I told you I had two. It went under the bin. There it is. So I'll put this one away in a minute. Told you I had two. I was right. What am I doing here? So I thought I had another. Well, here's the spring I need. So I am using a PTFE line. Oh, I do have the E3D ones. I'm going to use a PTFE lined one because I'm not doing high temperature on this. And I'm pretty much doing mostly PLA on here. So a PTFE lined hot end is perfectly acceptable for this build. Thermal grease this sucker up a little bit. Loop. That's probably too much, but should be fine. In all the way. Let me get paper towel. The excess. Okay. And then we can put in our tube, and then we can put on the PTFE lock. So this ensures if you don't have this on there, you will sometimes have your PTFE tube can move when you do retractions, and it can be a problem. So you need to ensure that this does not move at all. So really got to pay attention to that. And then I'm going ahead to also, I'm going to go ahead and install the heater block here. Rub screw for it. Now this is a complete E3D clone, so it does use E3D's special sauce. What's it called? It's the cartridge. The cartridge doohickey. Thermistor, that's it. Cartridge thermistor. Using a standard 0.4 millimeter nozzle on here as well for now. I only have a 0.5, which is going to go on the, I think it's going to go on the JG Roar. Or should I just put a 0.5 on now? Yeah, I think we'll just put a 0.5 on here right now. So sorry, JG Roar, you're not going to get the 0.5 for now. But Ultra Magnuses. Viking, how you doing, man? Nice black silicone heat sock. It's gonna go on here. It's gonna look super fly. I like it. But that's later. So don't forget we put a 0.5 on here. I need to remember that. It's in there as tight as we can go for now, and then we need to install the wee grub screw. We're not going to put any of the wires in yet, but at least we have our hot end assembled and mostly ready to go. Change the Magna D2 to a switch wire. Ugh. I'll think about it, Aaron. I will think about it for now. Okay, so now that we have this, we can go ahead and insert it in. Like a so. And we need to prep our front panel piece here. So we need I dropped a square nut right here. So we need one square nut here and the top. You sure I have much more time for more custom builds? That's what I've been doing for pretty much the past 6 months. And we can easily just set an M3 nut in the back there. Painting walls at 2 a.m. Viking. That sounds like boatloads of fun, my friend. Boatloads of fun. And then that just slaps onto the front like that. Could have went dual color here, but again, decided not to for now. And then we need 2 M3 by 40s. Right there. Tighten down. Now these do need to be, tight. Not like I'm going to break plastic tight, but fairly tight, because this is what holds your hot end in place. If these are loose, your hot end can potentially scoot around or twist or anything like that, and we really don't want that to happen. There we go. Now we have on the side, this is where our fan's going to go. We have our slot for the probe, all good to go. That also does need a square nut in it. We can put this in here now, hopefully without me breaking it. It's in place. We just have to put a bolt in there to hold in our hot end. Oh, I need another one there. Forgot about this one down here. Pull in with something. It's this nut. Dad's here. Mom's in the living room watching a movie right now. She's hanging out here with me. Dad's back home in the States watching on. Okay, so now they want the fan on, and don't I need to get a fan out. That's what I didn't do. I didn't get a fan out yet. So let me go into the bin over here. Put that stuff down. And I do have these 5014 fans, bicep fans. Where's the? Here it is. 24-volt fan. I will need to do some soldering tonight. I kind of forgot about that. I do have some 24-volt 40 mil fans. So we will need to do a little bit of soldering tonight. Bring that on down there. And we'll get there. I like watching these builds, but why do you build why do you do so many builds? Are you trying to hopefully one day build a perfect printer? You just like building for viewers? So that's multi-tiered, Michael. It is, yeah, for views, because people like watching these custom builds, and I've designed a lot of these, and Aaron has helped me design a lot of these, so it kind of helps with the viewership of the channel if people like watching the builds, and if they want to actually build them, that also builds revenue. So I have not sold my designs yet, but Aaron, I believe, is planning on selling his designs, which generates income. And you can only build these if people like to watch them and want to build them themselves as well. So that's E-motor in. Where the heck is the X-motor cable at? But I also really do enjoy the builds. Like, I mean, if you really think that I like torture myself week after week with these builds because I don't like doing them, sorely mistaken. One, two, three, four. Those cables, I don't need those anymore right now. Where the heck did the X motor cable go? Oh, did I lose it along the way? Oh, I am going to reuse this fan though. So we are going to reuse that fan. Oh, here it is. Is it? Yeah, this is the X motor cable, which is just long enough, I think, to continue to use for this. You go down there. All right, so we've got our X motor cable. So I can take these labels off now. I don't know why I just looked for the X motor cable. I need the E motor cable. Why didn't one of you guys stop me? Just the E motor cable. Here's E. Okay, E motor cable plugs in. It's down here. Tucks up into there. Goes out there. Should I reuse the 40 mil fan that came with it? Because it can definitely quiet it down, because have more control over it. So I think for the sake of, I don't want to solder tonight, we're going to reuse the fan that it came with. So I just need to take it off here. Might you reuse the grill though? I like that. This cable in there and gets pushed up in. So that's how the cable routing is. So the cables come down here, through here, and then out the back channel. And the fan cable comes up, loops down, and comes right back out here as well. I'm going to use this. Maybe this will prevent me from breaking fan blades off. Because I just broke one off of Megatron, because I'm an idiot. Bad habit of putting screwdrivers into fans when I'm working on something because I am clumsy. I might paint it later, Ryan. That's a very good idea. I might paint it red like the extrusion. Ooh, I should get the extrusion out tonight for you guys to see. But I really did want to focus on this tonight, so maybe I won't, but maybe I will. I don't know. So yeah, there's still put the screw in there. No, okay. Lines up, blah blah blah. The gears mesh properly. That's all lined up in there. So we're good to go on that part. Ah, yes. Now that's a M3x40. So we need a 40 mil. We need our spring. That goes in this side here. Oh, does this spring not fit? Oh no. I might drill this out a little bit. The spring I have is a little bit big for this hole. Almost looks like there was a layer shift in there, but there's not. Just drill that out a smidge. Battery. I got a drill. Bits. This is what, a 4 mil hole? Oh, no bigger than that. 5.5 mil. Work? No, I need to go 6 mil. It's the wife alert. Hang on a second. What does she need? All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Streamlabs, go here. 1 second. I got fuel. Delicious. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, let's see if this spring fits now. There we go. Spring fits now. Feels too tight. Feels good. All right. So we've got the spring in there now. The door's on. Switch cameras again. Boom. Okay. Now it wants us to put the fan on the front. So again, we've got our, this print did not come out perfectly, but that's okay. I will probably end up replacing this. I wanted to get some, I do have some red ABS that I might reprint this in red, but for now, this is what it's going to be. And again, I'm going to reuse the 5015 fan that came with this, and we can just put this all on. So I need those are M3 by 18s with washers on them. So one, two, some more washers out here. Definitely need to buy more washers too, because I am getting dangerously low on M3 washers. And goes up top here. Finger, no, you're not gripping. Why aren't you gripping? There we go. And then I believe it's just a 10 mil for the bottom there. Yeah, that 10 mil. Right here. I got a dislike because I didn't offer to share the candies. My bad, my boys, my bad. Dangerously close. I feel like lowering that a little bit. I'm gonna lower the hot end just a smidge. To do that, I'm just gonna loosen up here. Loosen up here. Down. Come on. It's still tight because the stupid fan's in. Come on. I hate it when you do that. Why aren't you loose? Come on. There it goes. Sit down all the way? It's not. Come on, there we go. Because this is as far down as I can bring it. Hit the inside of the part. What do you mean the inside of the part? Oh, you mean so just the actual, just the fan blades? Could do that. I haven't painted a fan in years since my computer modding days. Take this down still. I'll think about it, because again, I might paint the grill. That might be pretty cool if that's red. That would look pretty sick on there. Why aren't you lining up now? Here. Okay, now we're back to where we were, having most of this done here now. We got plenty of cables sneaking around as well. So now I believe the next part. Oh, why am I scrolling up so much? Stop that. The sensor on now. The big honkin' sensor. I am using this because I have it. It is a inductive probe. It's the TH3D Easy ABL. Nice and easy to use. So, while I'm using it, I'm going to put our service loop in like that. Right. In there like that for the zip tie. I'm going to leave it kind of looped like that. I want to make sure it's a nice, easy change there. And I'll probably end up, I'll throw a smidge of hot glue right on the back of this fan connector here, where the cable is there, because I want to make sure that that doesn't move at all. So, with that being said, let's get out the hot glue gun. It has a battery in it. It's still charged maybe. And we'll throw a smidge of hot glue on that glue stick. Let's get out a baby one. This, one of the greatest tools ever. Love this thing. But yeah, so we'll be able to go ahead and hot glue that fan cable so it doesn't come out. That being said, we've got all of our cables pretty much here and ready to go. That is it. Now we're going to go ahead and put it up onto the It barely fits, Aaron. Barely. Okay. So now, the way this goes is we didn't do the belt yet, did we? No, not doing the belt yet. That'd be silly to do the belt. Oh, need to put in some. You guys want to see this real quick? I need to put in a couple more square nuts real quick while the glue gun heats up. That's the one. Okay, that's done. Now we can go ahead and slide this guy. Get these cables here. Come on. Didn't want that too. These cables here as well. And stick the bearings in. Bada bing, bada boom, like that. Oh, that feels also nice. Now I need the back plate here. So we have our top back plate. It's going to go on using 10 mils? Yeah, M3 by 10s. Oh, the hot glue gun's done. Hang on a second. Before I do that, let me just do this hot glue real quick. Okay. Okay. Back to where I was. That goes there. Those go in there. This part goes in here. 10 millimeters. Just need one to hold it, and then get everything else out. Not reach. So, 12 millimeter. So also, because I'm using the IGES bearings, I need to be sure I don't squish these bearings at all. Okay. Now we can put the rest on. And 2.5. What are you doing in this bin? 3. One more. 4. We're still smooth. And we're good. Even those 12s there, not gripping all the way. Oh, the bottoms are M3 by 18s. Derp. Even though I built this thing like 4 or 5 times now, I still forget. It's alright, Aaron. I mean, heavens forbid I have 100% like dislike ratio. You know, I mean, that would just be audacious of me. That's also okay. I like to know that some people just don't like the content. It does help to know what the broader audience likes to see, likes to watch. Some people said, I saw in a previous video, someone said I didn't show enough. Like I didn't do enough like close-ups, so I really did try with this video. Let's back all those out a little bit. There we go. Smidge more. Good movement on there now. But yeah, I'm trying to get closer to this so everybody can kind of see what's going on here. And so I can, you know, maybe connect with more audience, more of my audience. Okay. Belt time. Let's see if these belts are long enough. Because I don't know. That's why. Oh, where's the new subscriber? Hello, hello. I don't know if the X belt's gonna be long enough, but we're gonna give it a go. Because I am generally curious whether or not it will work. Then I can say, other people try to do this, whether or not it works or not. Just like that for the moment. Through back here. Through the slot. Got a loop there. Oh, it should be long enough. What dog? There we go. Oh yeah, it is long enough. Sweet stuff. I'm being summoned again. Hang on a second. What's going on? Back so I can see myself here. Okay. So yeah, it is long enough. So now I just need to push it into the block here, which can go a little bit further on this one. The belt here. Get in there. I'm not twisted, am I? No. It's pushed in. Come on. Okay. There's that now. Hot dog. Now we got the belt on there. They went in pretty easily, Aaron. Not too bad at all in there. So now that that's in, now. All right, so we need to put on, I need an M3 by 40. Where'd that go? There it is. And then we're putting on this back clampy piece here. So this goes in and through it like that. Then it screws in. Okay, and that's what's going to give our back chain all of its rigidity. I'm going to go ahead and turn this way. Can I do it? Can I do it? Yeah, there we go. And then I can go sideways a little bit here, maybe. I can move you guys like that. There, now you can kind of see a little bit better. Janie Bree, very cool, glad to hear it. Yeah, Jonathan, I'm gonna have a lot of different printers here in the end once that gets all done. Our cable's ready to go there. So now we're going to put on this last back cover here. It's going to slide over everything. It's going to clamp our belt in there. It's going to get all of our wires together there. So it's just going to slide over everything like that. And for bolts, we need 1 by 18 up top. This one up here is an M3 by 18. Still there and okay. The bottom is 2 M3 by 10s, which are right here. And we're going to tighten these down just a little bit snug, and then we'll check to make sure I'm not crushing the bearing. The one condition you have to be careful of when using polymer bearings is you can't have these be too tight. You'll deform the bearing and you won't slide very easily anymore. Top can be tight on that one, but these bottoms need to be just a little bit smidge, and we have no wiggle in there at all. Fantastic. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. We can go ahead and do our sensor cable here. So this just plugs in. Place. Route our cabling down now. To here. This twist. there. Now I need to figure out the length of what's it called. I need the sheathing. So I have some. This stuff here is pretty beefy. This stuff's from Jim. Jim sent me some pretty big stuff. I think this one is too big for this portion. But I do have this one, which I don't know is long enough or not. No, it's a little short. These ones are, this one's longer. How long is this one? Oh, this one's good. All right, let's use this one here. Need the zip ties. We're gonna need a bunch of these here. Don't need a couple there. That down. Push all that in there. Shoot, that was the wrong button. Go like that. Then we can strap this top part on. I like this to be secure, so I don't have to worry about it. Two and three. Okay. Okay, so now we can go ahead and get our. I'm not going to reuse that. I pulled out a new 24 volt. This should be, yeah, it's 24 volt heater cartridge we're going to use. That there. Use this one here. I already have the thermistor proby deal ready to go. Just slide that in there. Then get the little hard to see under here. Just give that a little bit tightness there. Now we can zip tie this stuff to the bottom. Tie in there. Two zip ties in there. position. Snug, not tight. Then we can pile it together with the rest of this stuff. Wires up in there. This is probably the hardest part. I love this textile sleeving, but it's honestly not easy to get on. It really isn't. So once we have that on there, we need one more zip tie here to marry it together. So it's also the last kind of ugly spot of the whole deal. It doesn't really look fantastic there. But now we have that, we can go ahead and do the rest here. Oh, Ryan, shoot, you're right. I forgot about that. Haha, got it. So I'm just going to cut a big length of this. How long I need, and I need to cut that. Ah, crap. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Because I totally forgot about that. So we got to get this all here undone now. Insert the nylon filament in there. And then we can go ahead and rewrap this here. And there's a big delay from the comments to videos. What you guys see. Interesting. I have it on low latency too. Now we can go ahead and put the rest of this in here. This is kind of why I like doing this live, because I have people watching my back when I forget stuff. They'll watch me screw up and remind me when I screw up. You mean, Aaron, on your stuff or on my stuff? Or just like in general, people on YouTube being crappy? It's just like commenters on YouTube being crappy. All right, we've got that totally sleeved. Looks awesome sauce. And will fit just inside of there. A little bit more. There we go. So this will end up being my chain. I might make it just go a little bit shorter on it here. Maybe more so. because once it gets up to max height, so as far as it needs to really go, pull this up to max height. Because this top left corner is the furthest it will ever be from the control box. Maxed out right there. So that is pretty good like that. Still got a little bit of flex to it. It's got a nice bend to it. And yeah, I think that looks good. Derek, I am using an SKR 1.3 in this build, which I went ahead and installed down here. You can see there. There is the 1.3 installed in the universal SKR case. So down in here is kind of just like cable management. So down here is cable management. So that's going to end up being where the Easy ABL control box here is going to live down inside there, along with all the extra cable will go down in there. So I'll end up running that. That's going to be the main thing that's going to go over there. And it's going to go down. And that'll go down into there. And then we'll just have the single signal wire coming up top. So this is pretty much all going to be just management down there. I can cut this shorter now. So Gizmo Dorks is good for their nylon is good for one thing, and that is doing all of these builds. This 200 grams has lasted me quite a long time now. It's 200 grams. I think it was $8 or $7 on Amazon. So if you guys need any nylon filament, if you're going to be doing builds like I am, I'm doing lots of these. This is good stuff to sacrifice because it's junk. And it's 3 millimeter, 2.5, so even more junk. And it's Gizmo Dorks, even more junk. Well, that ain't good. Let me resolder that. But yeah. So what do you guys think of that? I think it looks honestly fantastic. I do say so myself. X is just gonna pop in here, and we have. Motor is going to be right there. So that's kind of our first tranche at it, is just that. I have to make it that long. I can make this shorter. But I am going to just use, I do have some very thin textile sleeving, maybe. Jim sent me a bunch of stuff. Oh, here it is right here. So yeah, I have some small stuff from Jim. And I think I'll go ahead and just cut a piece of this to length here. Just to like that. I'll cut a little bit off of there. And we'll have this, I'll zip tie it up there so it stays on. Show you guys a little closer, sorry about that. So we'll have this textile sleeving go on there. And that will just cover up all of that. Again, I'll cut it. It's like there. Fits right down into there. That'll be nice and clean looking as well. I do wish there was something else to use other than a zip tie up there, but that'll be what it ends up being. To keep that on there nice and clean. I'm going to call you Janny because it's easier. Janny's asking motor drivers. I am using TMC 2209s. So X and Y will be sensorless homing, and Z is going to be using the capacitive sensor from TH3D. Again, this is their Easy ABL sensor. This is the old school one. This one is version 3, so it is a little bit old. But I've had this for a long time. Tim sent it to me. He sent me a few of them actually several years ago, and I said, send it to me. I will find a use for them at some point. Here we are at some point, and I am now just finding a use for them. But I could just go with a small sensor, but because there is so much, that is too short. Because there's so much space to the right side of the bed, I don't need to worry about the sensor running into the Z motor end because there's plenty of space there. That was a concern because I was going to use this on Megatron, and in testing and things like that, that's when I found out with Aaron, hey, we can't do that big sensor because it is going to crash. But this way, we don't crash until we get off the bed, which is great. But I can set that up in Marlin so that it knows how far to the right it can actually go on there. I can go ahead now and do a couple little turns. And now we have a tensioned X belt. Man, that moves so nicely. Almost looks like the, what's it called, is off center. This, I might change out this bearing here because it looks, the pulley spins like it's off centered, which is very strange. So I might end up switching that one out. But it moves smoothly, which was my big concern using the Aegis bearings. Y moves fairly smooth, a little bit rougher than I thought it would be. X is like butter, but Y is a little bit tighter than I was hoping here. So I'm going to address that in the next video. I'm probably going to do a little bit more testing. I don't know how long it's going to take me to tune the bearings on Y to get them in their proper orientation. It's going to take me another minute, I think. So I'm actually going to go ahead and remove the bed and play around with that alignment. I do have it centered, so the bed is perfectly centered to the machine. I have the motor, Y motor bracket already on and in line. I just need to ensure that my bearings are exactly straight and perpendicular, or parallel, I should say, to each other on each side of the bed, and they need to be perfectly in line with each other on the actual bearing. So I'm going to take off the bed and kind of play with that. I should be able to figure that out sooner or later. I did already do the bed cable chain, which I will show later on how I did that because it was a very big experiment on my part, and I wanted to be sure that I had it right, that it was going to work the way I wanted it to. So I wanted to do all that off camera. I might work to redesign the way that it's attached. I'm not terribly happy with it, but it's fine. It kind of is what it is. What are we asking here? So string tubing over that JST connector would be nice. Oh, string tubing over this? Yeah, my only concern with that is that it would make it too stiff, because once string tubing contracts, it would make it very, very hard. And this does need to loop down, because if we take this down all the way down, push this down, 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 down to there. So that's bare bottom there. This then has like a big up loop, and I wouldn't want to kink the cabling at all. See how this comes down here? So, and then it's going to be kind of like up into there. So I kind of need to be mindful of this right here, because a lot of my printing is going to be down at this height. There is another option though, I believe, in the case. Or I guess there's not in this one. I thought there was another hole on the side here to put it in, but it seems like X goes through here. But either way, that is something to consider because of how low down this comes. I need to be mindful of this loop here, of how that goes. The only other way to change that, it would be to flip this motor 180 so the connector's coming out the top, so you always have an upwards loop, which would be kind of cool. I mean, that probably would work out. But again, it's just something that you need to be mindful when you're building the printers. How is this all going to actually connect? How is it going? What's the run going to look like for your cabling? Because you want everything to, number one, it needs to look good. I mean, because otherwise, what's the point of going to all this trouble of modifying the bejesus out of this case. And two, just kind of need to be mindful of the how it all looks in the end too, because I want it to look really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to secure these ends here soon, just so those are done and kind of ready to go. I want to capture the Z. Now that we know that this is all built properly and looks good, and we don't have too much pressure on anything, I think it looks great. And I want to just make sure that I get that all locked in there. Oh. Can I Dremel a slot in there for us? Yes, I could. I mean, I also could just take my drill and drill a 4mm hole right there and run it in, or use a slot. Yeah, use the Dremel to cut a little V in there. I could model it in and reprint this. It's another option to kind of do it the smart way. But I like the cable in the top for now. Again, if I want to change it, I can. It's plastic. That's kind of a nice thing with plastic, is you can easily change that stuff. But for now, I think I'm gonna go that route. I think having the flex sleeve on there being zip tied, I think that will give it a little bit more rigidity and will kind of stay on there. I also could hot glue the end of this to the bottom of the connector. Take it off, hot glue it there, and that gives it kind of more of a base to it. There's a lot of options. I don't really know which way I'm going to go yet, but I'll kind of toy around with it over the next few days. I do want to print some cable management clips for the back here. I did not do that yet. Hi, Kevin. How you doing? And I still need to route the power cables, as Brandon brought up late last time, because he's a slacker. The stock cables, power cables, were not long enough. And because of the way that I did the bed, I'll show that to you guys later, the stock bed cables were not long enough. So that also sucked. But the way that I have it running is that there's nothing coming off the back of this printer except the bed. There's no cable chain, nothing. Everything is sleek, it's in line. And I hope to God it still works after I did all that soldering, because it took me forever to desolder that connector. But there will be definitely more on all of that later. We're going to go ahead and pause on the build for tonight. Got a ton done. And I am tired, and I think the wife needs help wrapping some Christmas gifts tonight. So I need to go and work on that. May want to shoot the connector out the side. Yep, that might come out that way too, Aaron. That is also an option. We'll see how it ends up going. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you guys are enjoying the build. I had a bunch of people in here, got lots of good questions. So please make sure that you subscribe. So if you want to see more of these, hit the bell icon. That way you go ahead and get some... excuse me there. Get yourself some notifications when I do live streams. I will be live again Friday night working on this, and I'm hoping to finish this Friday night. I might do some more homework off screen, a little bit more work throughout the week, or maybe I'll go live later this week. But I would like to finish this up on Friday, and Saturday do firmware, and then on Monday I want to do the Prusa Mini build. So I really want to get up to speed on that, but I need to get this done and off the table so I can start another build. So we definitely have more coming up. So if you guys want to see more builds, please stay tuned. A lot more coming up. You guys will support the channel. There's some links down below. Patreon. There's one-time donation links. Again, patrons, $1 really does help. It adds up very quickly. I can do so much more of these custom builds and like that with just $1. So I appreciate everybody for what they're doing to help me out. Even if it is just watching these streams and liking them. I really do appreciate you guys. I hope you all have a good night. Happy printing. I'll see y'all next time.